Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, wherever you are based in the world. My name is Owen Cullen, and I'm the Managing Director of Cullen Communications and the current Chair of the Public Relations Consultants Association based in Ireland. Today I'm going to discuss sustainability and how Sustainable Development Goals can help your or your client's brand find purpose. So what is sustainability? Well, what we call sustainability today is based on the Brundtland Commission's 1987 definition of sustainable development, which is to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Human society is a wholly owned subsidiary of the environment. Without food, clean water, fresh air, fertile soil, and other natural resources, society and economy cannot survive. The economy and society depend on the natural environment to prosper, so it is imperative that the natural resources only be used at the same rate that they can be replenished. Today, we're clearly living beyond our means, and according to the Global Footprint Network, we're currently consuming nature 1.7 times faster than the planet can regenerate. Effectively, we're in the red. That is to say, we are overspending our natural capital, compromising resources, and causing things like deforestation and carbon dioxide buildup in the atmosphere. There's actually a calendar date for this. It's called Earth Overshoot Day. That is the day in the calendar when humanity has exhausted nature's budget for the year. For the rest of the year, we are drawing down natural resources, spending what we can't make. Last year, in 2020, Earth Overshoot Day took place on August 22nd. That's the background to the sustainability movement, or sector, or industry. Nobody knows for sure what the correct term for sustainability is, but we do know that it's a big business. Today, the sustainability sector in the US alone employs nearly 5 million people. And as more consumers, more firms, more regulators tune into sustainability, it's only going to get bigger. As our economy becomes more sustainable and energy efficient, we are actively creating a new market for clean energy and sustainability jobs. That's the very definition of sustainability. So what does this mean for us? As I mentioned, the concept of sustainability really came about when it was discovered that humanity is officially using up more ecological resources than the Earth can regenerate. For companies, sustainability is now a critical issue. Organizations are now officially measured according to their environmental, social, and corporate governance, or ESG, performance. ESG refers to the three central issues used to assess sustainability and societal impact of an investment in a company or a business. Accordingly, there is huge growing pressure on companies to operate sustainability for 5 main reasons. One is to get sustainable or get sued. Governments around the world, including Ireland, are cracking down harder and harder on companies that don't prioritize ESG topics. The Biden administration has seen the US rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement, and this will make it easier for the US government to fine companies that are not behaving the way they should. At a certain point, you will get punished for poor ESG performance. Investors are attracted to good performance. The total value of assets under management allocated to ESG criteria has shot up from $22 trillion in 2016 to more than $40 trillion in 2020. In other words, investors want to put their money in companies that perform well on ESG criteria. If you're in the market for any type of investment, every potential investor will want to know how sustainable your business is. You won't be able to hide. Whether you like it or not, the market wants to compare how companies are doing on ESG. There are ratings agencies that are being paid specifically to compare ESG performance, and sooner or later, your company or your clients will appear on one of those lists. Next year, for example, the EU Sustainable Taxonomy comes into effect, meaning every company in the EU will be asked to reveal the percentage of sustainable sales according to the EU sustainability definition. Yes, this does apply to your company. You might be thinking that ESG is only for public or listed companies. Well, that's wrong. ESG concerns every single company, large and small, listed or not. Most suppliers have strict rules on sustainability practices that will affect every company they do business with. So ignoring ESG will only hurt your business. Good ESG performance makes people want to work for you. Job interviews these days are a two-way process. Just as you are looking for the right blend of skills, so too potential employees want to know that you care about the things they care about, including looking after the planet. Sustainability can give you a competitive edge when it comes to recruiting and retaining talent. In 2015, the United Nations set out 17 global principles that provide a blueprint for governments, businesses, and society to take action on sustainable development. These are UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, which are shorthand for sustainability and are often described as the common DNA for a sustainable future. The SDGs cover almost every aspect of life, including poverty, hunger, health and well-being, education, gender equality, clean water, clean energy, economic growth and opportunity, industry and innovation, equality, sustainable cities, responsible consumption, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace and justice, and partnerships to achieve all of these goals. So the SDGs address the most fundamental aspect of life on Earth. And since it's companies that have the biggest impact on social and ecological issues, then it is companies that are under the most pressure to adopt the SDGs as part of their business strategy. So how can these become embedded in your brand's culture? That might sound very challenging and high level, but SDGs are no longer a nice to have. They are now a hygiene factor in the way your company, your business, is perceived and dealt with by the outside world. So how do you turn them into an ordinary, everyday reality? Taking a collaborative approach, involving your team and your people at every stage of the discussion. These are our 5 steps towards embedding SDGs in your company culture. 1, get to know the SDGs. You should know enough about the SDGs to be able to talk about them. Even though there's a lot to get to grips with 17 overall goals and a total of 169 accompanying targets, your first step is to understand what's there. Some of the goals will be more relevant to your business. Others won't seem like an easy fit. Talk about the goals. What do they mean to you? Identify your priority goals. The best way to do this is to decide where you are currently having the biggest negative impact and where you can make the biggest contribution. For both of these questions, you will have to draw on your core competencies, things you can control and influence in the context of the way you do business. So set some bold targets. Now commit to a set of targets. Remember, these are the business goals. They are supposed to give you direction and give your entire organization something to work towards. Be ambitious. Make your goals something that can inspire and make people proud, like reducing emissions, only using sustainable materials, demanding sustainable behavior from suppliers, or using green office products. Above all, commit to your goals by making them public. Just get cracking. As bold as your targets are, you'll need a roadmap to get there. Appoint a sustainability leader or team to develop a concrete action plan that includes weekly, monthly, yearly step towards reaching your goals. Find out what others are doing and how they're getting there. Get started. Then you'll review, refine, and report. Reporting progress is vital to your sustainability journey. You should agree a format and frequency for reporting. And above all, commit to being honest and transparent about how you're doing. Bumps in the road are normal, and adjusting the plan as you go is all part of the journey. So to hopefully make this theory sound a bit more tangible, here are a number of examples of some household name brands that are using SDGs to make a difference. Amazon has launched a €2 billion climate pledge fund that will invest in companies that are building products, services, and technology that will decarbonize the planet. This will allow Amazon and others to achieve net zero by 2040, a full 10 years before the same target under the Paris Agreement. Apple has promised to be 100% carbon neutral by 2030. That covers the entire business, including supply chain, product lifecycle, a huge commitment. The company has also said it will build a recycling robot that better dismantle and reuse Apple devices. Danone has committed to total transparency in its sustainability reporting, including a warts-and-all approach to updates on the challenges and shortfalls it has experienced in promoting healthy food and a healthy planet. This is really brave, and it's differentiating Danone from others. PepsiCo has been reporting on sustainability goals since 2005 across three main areas: human sustainability, talent sustainability, and environmental sustainability. By 2025, they have promised to make their packaging 100% recyclable and will reduce the amount of waste they generate by 50%. Finally, Salesforce has actually identified the environment as one of its key business stakeholders. This is a very interesting perspective. They've already achieved net zero greenhouse gas emissions globally, and they deliver an annual stakeholder impact report that's completely upfront about where they are and where they're trying to get to. So incorporating SDGs into your business strategy can only be good for the planet, good for society, and good for future generations. But there has to be something in it for you too. Here are a number of ways that your business can stand to gain. First of all, business growth. 42% of US and UK consumers now say they prioritize sustainable materials in their day-to-day purchasing habits. That's the single most important way of adopting SDGs can help your business to grow. The world is leaning towards companies that act and think sustainably and turning away from companies that do not. As I said already, many firms have codes of conduct for suppliers. If you don't follow them, you'll lose business. And at a regulatory level, not only operating in a sustainable way could see you getting hit with fines. Risk mitigation. At last year's World Economic Forum, global leaders were asked their biggest worry facing into the next decade. For the first time ever, all 5 of the biggest risks are now directly related to the environment. These include climate change, global warming, extreme weather, and loss of biodiversity. The only way for us as a business people and business leaders to mitigate these risks are to change the way we operate. As I said at the outset, investors love sustainability. Even during the pandemic, sustainable investments performed well above the average, demonstrating that more asset owners believe ESG is key to long-term value of their assets. Which brings us to the great intangible benefit of sustainability. Should I just skip before? Purpose. Excuse me. As we emerge from the turmoil of a global pandemic, it is more important than ever to stand for something. Brands are today expected to contribute positively to society and even help the economy get back on track by showing purpose and good behavior in what they do. Adopting SDGs can crystallize that purpose and make good behavior something everyone in the organization wants to live up to. So why is purpose important? In life, it is important to have a sense of purpose. Research has shown again and again that having a direction and an overall sense of meaning actually helps people to live longer and cope better with setbacks and challenges. Brands too need purpose, and now more than ever, we are living through one of the most stressful, uncertain times in modern history, where societies have been turned upside down and people have been confronted with the uncomfortable reality of our own vulnerability. This is bound to have an effect on the way we think about everything, including the type of brands we want in our lives. So when we do get back to some form of normal, brands are going to have to communicate and connect with their target audiences, explaining why they exist and how they benefit people's lives. Having a sense of purpose, showing this purpose through words and actions, and particularly through sustainable goals, can help brands in 3 main ways. First of all, to attract good people. People want to work for purposeful brands that behave in a responsible way. There's almost nothing more attractive to a potential employee than to know they have an opportunity to join a company that is a force for good in the world. By prioritizing and proudly living your SDGs, you can become a destination employer while retaining all your best talent. Equally, as I've said, consumers now want to invest their money wisely. Post-pandemic, people will even more actively seek out brands, services, and products that stand for something. Even in the most competitive industry, the sector with the lowest visibility, a commitment to sustainability can give you that competitive edge. And you'll grow your business. So let's not forget about this one. Responsible companies are now growing and performing better than others, with a clear link between purpose and profit. The evidence is all around, but if you're still not convinced, take the time to read up on Unilever, which is simply doing amazing things with SDGs and reaping the rewards. So why to embrace sustainability? How to go about it, what the benefits are, and the underlying importance of having purpose. These are all the building blocks, which is where we come into the picture. We work in an industry that is dedicated to effective communication, which in itself is a central plank of any sustainability strategy. So PR agencies or PR practitioners are in a unique position to help brands that might be struggling to articulate what they are doing, or who simply may be trying to get back on their feet after the pandemic and looking for a new direction. We can help these organizations first by providing them with important insights about what their target audience is thinking and feeling, not just consumers and the outside world, but other really important stakeholder groups like employees and investors who need to know how the brand plans to stay relevant in a changing world. We then turn these insights into carefully targeted messages conveyed in a tone that displays clarity and purpose, and above all, honesty. What are you offering the world? What is your purpose? How can you help? We also provide more strategic counsel, delving down into the communication channels and media platforms, traditional as well as social media and influencer marketing and stakeholder engagement to fit your objectives. Above all, public relations can deliver a strategy designed to build secure, positive relationships around your client's sustainability journey over the long term. It's not a quick fix, and that is the unique power of PR, an investment that grows over time, just like the steady process of improving the world for future generations. Two last messages from a comms perspective. First, if your client is going to go out and tell the world about their SDGs, they have to mean it. Feel-good messages will gain traction in the short term, but if you don't follow through and walk the walk, you'll quickly lose credibility. If clients commit to a plan, they must stick to it and be honest about how they're doing. Secondly, on that point, the importance of regular reporting cannot be underestimated. Telling stakeholders, including media, about progress made and objectives reached is itself one of the benefits of sustainability. There are international frameworks clients can use to tell their story, and here, again, you should be able to advise. So that's it in a nutshell. I hope you found that interesting, and I wish you luck with your own journey or your clients and the journeys of sustainability. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with me. My contact details are here. Alternatively, look up our website, cullincommunications.ie, or on the PRCA Ireland website. Thank you very much for listening and the opportunity to present to you today. Have a great rest of the day. Take care.